All right, so first of all, I would like to say welcome to this JUPAS information section, which is particularly on these two English language studies programs. One is English language studies, and the other one is English language studies plus English language education. And first of all, let me just say sorry, it's just because of some hiccups and that I was late. Okay, but finally I'm here and talk about these two programs, these two JUPAS programs for everybody here. So first of all, let me introduce myself to you. I'm the one taking care of these two English language programs. I'm Daniel. So if you have any questions, so maybe you can actually wait until the end of this presentation. It will be around about 30 minutes, and then questions are always welcome. All right, so as you can see, if you take a look at the cover slide here, we're going to take a look at these two English language studies JUPAS programs, which are specifically about exploring English linguistics and experiencing English language teaching. So as long as you know, if you are going to major in English, it's not just about brushing up on your English language proficiency. It's also about how you can make use of some theories and methods in order for you to analyze the English language. So by analyzing the English language, you will become a much better language user. To be more specific, you will become a much better English language user. So if you really want to speak, write, read, and listen to the English language well, as long as you would like to be a successful, effective user of the English language, you have to know what's meant by English linguistics. So English language studies, what you're going to major in, is about how we're going to equip you to be a successful and effective English language user. But at the same time, if you really want to teach English as a second language in Hong Kong, either in a primary school or in a secondary school, then apart from the knowledge in English linguistics, you will also have to have an English language teaching qualification. So these will be given to you if you major in what we call the English double degree, English language studies plus English language education. So it's about education. So it's about how you educate English language in a secondary school or primary school English language classroom. So that would be the English language education program, which I'm also going to talk about in today's information section. All right. So yeah, these are the two programs that you might be interested in, and that's why you're here today. You've registered for this section. So basically, we're going to talk about these two full-time bachelor's degree programs. One is, as I've just mentioned, Bachelor of English Language Studies with honors. It's what we call, we've got a nickname because the long form is kind of tricky and it's just too long for us to produce. And that's why we always say it's the English single degree. So along the discourse of today's seminar, whenever I refer to the English single degree, I'm actually talking about this Bachelor of English Language Studies with honors degree, and the JUPAS code, I'm sure everybody knows, is 9540. All right. So if you're really interested in this program, make sure you remember these JUPAS code 9540 for the English single degree program. All right. So as long as we are now talking about JUPAS in Information Day, so we are just talking about this year one entry. So all of you here, if you're interested in this program, you will start from the very first page of this program, which is year one, okay? And you will be one of us in September, all right, if you choose to do this program, 9540 English single degree. But if you're saying that apart from English linguistics, apart from knowing how to be a good user in the English language, I'd also like to teach English in a secondary school or primary school, then you might be interested in this program, which is what we call the English double degree program. Bachelor of Education with honors in English language teaching and Bachelor of English language studies with honors. So nicknamed as English double degree. So if you're interested in this program, similar to the single degree, remember the JUPAS code for this double degree, which is 9530. 9530. All right. And again, only year one entry is allowed for this program. All right. So basically, we're going to talk about these two English studies program, single degree and double degree with education, with the teaching qualification. All right. So first of all, let's take a look at what you will be doing with us at the Open University of Hong Kong. Oh, but remind you, starting from September, the Open University of Hong Kong will be retitled as the Hong Kong Metropolitan University, HKMU. But anyway, it's just a matter of name. You will still be here, and the teachers will be here, and we are still waiting for you to come, okay, to learn from us. And that's why, as you can see, that we've got these two English language studies program, the English single degree, 9540, and the English double degree, 9530. For the single degree, which is similar to other single degree programs elsewhere offered by other universities in Hong Kong, it will be a 4-year program. In other words, you will be spending 4 years with us with both the autumn term, September to December, and the spring term, round about January to May. Okay, so 2 terms in an academic year. So this will be the same for all the 4 years. But if you take a look at the double degree program here, for the double degree program, it means that you will be able to obtain 2 major degrees. All right. On the one hand, English language studies. On the other hand, English language education. But still, you can see that you are only required to spend 4 years here with us. All right. If you're doing this double degree program, which is exactly the same as the length of time for you to spend with us if you choose to do the single degree program. Why is this the case? It's just because, as you can see here, in addition to the normal, conventional autumn term and spring term, we will actually ask you to do 2 summer terms in your year 2 summer and your year 3 summer. So let me say this, by taking advantage of your 2 summer terms here, you would be able to finish a double degree program in 4 years of time, which is exactly the same as how the single degree students would spend their time in terms of completing their program. Now, this is actually an advantage, all right? We take advantage of your summer terms just because we would like you to recognize the merit of this advantage. If you apply for other double degree programs elsewhere from other universities in Hong Kong, normally you have to spend 5 years in order for you to finish a double degree program because it's more credits of courses. It's 1 more major. So it's logical for you to spend more time in order for you to complete a program requiring more credits of courses. But here, it's just because we kind of squeeze things in the 2 summer terms. And that's why, compared with your classmates or with your friends doing some other double degree programs elsewhere in Hong Kong, you will be able to graduate 1 year faster than your friends doing some double degree programs elsewhere in Hong Kong. So this is definitely an advantage. You will be able to step into the society to start earning money, all right, to start your career 1 year faster than your classmates, your friends, other students doing double degree programs elsewhere in Hong Kong. So that's actually, I would have to say, a highlight or an advantage of this double degree program. It takes only 4 years instead of 5 years for you to complete, all right? So many of you would actually be interested in knowing the public recognitions or how the 2 degrees would actually be recognized by the society or by different professional bodies in Hong Kong. And here comes this page, okay, this information. So if you study both, either 9540, which is the English single degree, or JS9530, which is the English double degree, you will be able to get a bachelor's degree, which is both locally and internationally well recognized as other bachelor's degrees offered by other universities in Hong Kong. Now, we are the Open University of Hong Kong. Very soon would be the Hong Kong Metropolitan University. There is no worry because the bachelor's degrees awarded by HKMU or OUHK are as well locally and internationally recognized as all other bachelor's degrees awarded by the other famous or government-funded universities in Hong Kong. So the degrees awarded by us have no difference with the degrees awarded by Hong Kong U, Chinese U, or other government-funded universities in Hong Kong. Or all the degrees offered by us are locally and internationally well recognized. So there should be no worries in terms of these of the recognition of the bachelor's degrees offered by the OUHK, by the Open University of Hong Kong. And yes, both 9540 English Language Studies, 9530 English Language Studies plus English Language Education are recognized by the Education Bureau as an English language major degree. Now, if you want to be an English teacher in Hong Kong, in either a primary school or secondary school, you have to have two qualifications. The first one is this: English language major degree. You have to major in English in the university as your major. All right, so which enables you to be able to understand, use, and communicate in English well enough. So this is the very first qualification that you have to have in order for you to be an English teacher, or in some other disciplines where English is required. That's the English language major degree. Both the English single degree and the English double degree will equip you with these English language major degree. The last thing, yes, as everybody knows, if you really want to be an English teacher, and if you don't have an English language major degree, you have to attend what we call LPAT, Language Proficiency Assessment for Teaching. All right. So if you've got the English language major degree here, you will be partially exempted from LPAT. All right. So last but not least, if you choose to do our English double degree program, by the time you complete the program, you will be a fully qualified English teacher in primary or secondary schools in Hong Kong with both the subject knowledge. What's the subject knowledge? That's the English language major degree. And the other one, which is specifically for these English double degree, is the professional teacher training qualification, which will also be given to you. You will obtain this after graduating from the English double degree. So to summarize, it's just like this. If you complete 9540 English single degree, you will have the English language major degree. And if you complete the English double degree, by the time you complete the program, you will have both the English language major degree plus the teacher training qualification. In other words, you will be ready to be an English teacher in either primary schools or secondary schools in Hong Kong. All right, so that's basically the recognitions of these two programs after graduation. Okay. Right, so basically you may actually query what you're going to study in these two programs. So I would have to say, for these two programs, definitely the very first keyword is English. How are you going to study English? Or how are you going to major in English? Or how is studying English as a major, as your major program in the university setting would be actually different from how you have been studying English for such a long time, starting from your primary school to secondary school, because I'm sure that everybody here has been studying English for a long, long time, more than a decade. So how would studying English as a major be different from studying English as just a subject in your primary school and secondary school? Let's take a look here. What you will gain after graduation from these two English language studies degrees. Here we are. The very first one, a high level of both written and spoken English proficiency. Now, let me just tell you that our graduates, all the English single degree and English double degree students have to take the IELTS course. I'm sure everybody knows what's meant by IELTS. Is a public English exam and is recognized worldwide. And for most of our graduates, the average band score for their IELTS test is 7.0, okay, which is quite fairly a decent result. But definitely some of our graduates will actually get 7.5, 8, and 8.5, which is impressive. All right, but the average is 7.0, which is much more than enough for you to make use of this result for you to apply for jobs related to English or for you to further your studies in the English discipline. All right, so that's why if you major in English, your written English, your spoken English would be of a high caliber. All right. And it's not just about English language speaking, reading, writing, listening skills. It's also about in-depth knowledge of the English language system. Now, just now, if you still remember what I mentioned to you, majoring in English is definitely, it's very important for you to speak, for you to write the English language well. But by majoring in English, by doing a bachelor's degree in English, it's much more than just being able to write the English language well and speak the English language well. It's much more than that. And this much more than that lies in the fact that you will be able to analyze the English, and you will be able to analyze the English system using your in-depth knowledge. So how are you going to analyze the English language system, making use of your in-depth knowledge? Later on, when I'm going to talk about the courses that you're going to do in these two programs, you will know what the knowledge would be, right? The third thing here, a critical ability and practical tools to analyze and appreciate language and literature in context. It's not just about the English language itself. Everybody knows by majoring in English, you have to know something about Shakespeare. You have to know something about how J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter in terms of these very famous English fiction, Harry Potter, in terms of these one of the most famous English writers in the human history, Shakespeare. If you want to know more about how Shakespeare wrote his drama, say for example, Romeo and Juliet, or if you want to know better how we can actually understand more about the story of Harry Potter by analyzing J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter, the fiction itself, then it's a matter of English literature. All right, so in our courses, you can see both English language studies, English linguistics, as well as literature courses or English literature courses. Last but not least, understanding of language and society and the role of English in the world. English does not exist in vacuum. No languages exist in vacuum. What does it mean by that? It means that whenever you use language, you want to use something to communicate with others in a particular context. All right, so English is only meaningful when there are people using it, when there are people making use of it to communicate with others speaking the same language, English, of course. And that's why we have to understand how the English language is actually tied with the society. Now, this one here, whenever we talk about society, not only are we talking about how English is actually used in Hong Kong, we're also talking about how English is used in different parts of the world, different corners of the world, in Singapore, in Japan, or in places where English is actually spoken as the native language, as the mother tongue. In the UK or in the US, say for example, we have to see how this language will actually manifest different kinds of varieties. We are talking about British English in the UK, American English in the US, or even Hong Kong English in Hong Kong. So we will try to take a look at the interesting things taking place in these different varieties of the same language, English, in different parts of the world. All right, so that's basically the very last point here. Understanding of language, English language, of course, and society and the role of English in the whole world in the 21st century. All right, so these are basically the 4 things that you will be doing with us in an array of English language study courses in these 2 programs, right? And in addition, if you still remember, for the English double degree students, you would like to be an English teacher in either primary schools or secondary schools in Hong Kong. And that's why we do have an array of education courses which will actually make you become a super teacher or an apt teacher, a competent teacher, teaching English as a second language in Hong Kong schools. All right. So understanding of the growth and development of learners and the significance of social context. Not if you have to be a teacher, even though you are an English teacher, not only are you just teaching the subject matter, which is English, you also have to focus on, or you also have to take care of the learners' growth and their development. By knowing more about how children progress in terms of both their physical and cognitive ability, you will be in a better place to understand how you can teach the English well, teach these subject matter, which is English language well, with reference to how children or how learners actually grow along the physical and cognitive path. All right, so growth and development are something very important for you to understand if you want to be a good English teacher. Apart from that, ability to perceive implications for classroom teaching. Yes, when it comes to a classroom, how can you conduct in a secondary school, say, for example, a 40-minute English class well? You have to know all the knowledge as well as techniques or technical know-how in order for you to be a good English teacher who can actually control, all right, an English classroom. That's about classroom teaching. Awareness of the need for ongoing professional, intellectual, and personal development. So you are a teacher. A teacher, of course, the main job is to teach, but a teacher is always learning at the same time. And that's why we're always talking about learning and teaching as two intertwined entities. They can't be segregated from each other. They have to be tied with each other. Whenever there is teaching, there is learning. And whenever there is learning, learning actually informs teaching. All right. So, you know, you have the awareness of how you actually grow professionally and how you increase in terms of your intellectual and personal development, all of which are very important for you to be a good English teacher. So moreover, design and implement English language curriculum projects based on the needs of learners or as a response to societal change. You can't just teach based on what you have planned. You have to know what the learners need. So in order for you to understand, if you can actually understand more about what your learners, your students, your pupils need, you would be in a much better place to teach well, to be a good English teacher in your classroom. All right. So teaching it's not something one way. It has to be dynamic. You know what they want, and that's why you feed that. Okay, you teach them what they need, and definitely they will give you response in terms of whether your teaching is effective or not. So learning, knowing more about learners' needs is something very important for a successful and effective classroom, English classroom teaching. And we are now in the 21st century, so we can actually sit here in this indoor environment in order for me to deliver to you this seminar thanks to IT, okay, so information technology. So we are now online, and that's why we have to make our students know how they can make use of IT knowledge and skills effectively in their own teaching for study and in general. All right, so making use of IT is something very important in the 21st century if you really want to teach effectively, all right, or with different modes. And promote student development through counseling and extracurricular activities. Yes, it's not just about teaching all the way through. It's about counseling. It's about how you can get involved in extracurricular activities or co-curricular activities together with the students. So that's something you also have to learn as a good English teacher. Last but not least, you should be able to critically reflect on your students' learning. All right, so you know what they need, and that's why you have to reflect on their learning in order for you to better prepare yourself to be a good teacher. All right, so these are all the things embedded in these array of courses. Now, the two programs, English single degree program as well as the English double degree program, are actually composed of the following 5 types of courses. Definitely language proficiency. And of course, we're now talking about English language proficiency. You will have courses in terms of how you can read, write, speak, and listen to the English language well enough, all right, in all these language proficiency courses. But apart from how you can communicate with the using the English language well, you have to know how the theories and skills can actually help you analyze the English language in these linguistics and language studies courses, as well as literature courses. All right. And if you're doing the English double degree, definitely, as I just mentioned, all these education courses will be required. Okay, how you can actually manage a classroom, how you can develop your lesson plan, how can you change your lesson plan just because of the learner needs that you encounter in your own classroom. So all these will be instilled to you in the education courses. But in a university setting, apart from what we are talking about, these major courses, we are also talking about whether you know something else in addition to the disciplines that you major in. And that's why students will be required to do some what we call outside discipline courses. In other words, elective courses. You will have the chance to choose whatever courses you would like to do, as long as they're offered by the university. Say, for example, if you're saying that I'm an English major, I'm an English education major, I know everything about the English language, but I just want to know how I can actually make use of my pocket money to do some kind of investment, say, for example, then you can actually, for these outside discipline courses, take a business course or an investment course offered by one of our 5 schools in the university, which is the School of Business and Administration. All right, so you can definitely do an investment course based on your own interest, or some other physical health course or mental health course offered by our nursing school. All right, so it's really up to you to choose whatever disciplines or whatever courses you are interested in for these outside discipline courses. All right. And apart from these outside discipline courses, last but not least, we can see general education courses. So these are rather general, but definitely these general areas of inquiries are also fundamental in terms of the overall personal growth of youngsters like all of you, of human beings. So we also ask our students to do a number of general education courses, which is actually similar to many other universities in Hong Kong. All right, apart from your major, apart from your electives, you're also required to do some general education courses. All right, so these are the 5 different types of courses that you're going to do. So, as I've just mentioned, some examples of the language proficiency courses, as you can see here: reading, writing, listening, speaking, and the course I've just mentioned, which is preparing for IELTS. Okay, and we won't actually ask our students to do IELTS in their year 1 or year 2, but year 3 or year 4. Why? Because by that time, we are more confident in your English proficiency, because year 1, you're just a newbie to us, or year 2, intermediate. But when you're in your year 3 or year 4, you should be advanced enough. Okay, you should be mature enough, and you should have got enough English knowledge in order for you to attend these public English tests, IELTS. So it will be either in your year 3 or year 4. All right. And the second reason is that the validity of an IELTS test result is only for 2 years. All right. So by the time you graduate, if we ask you to do this IELTS course in year 1 or year 2, by the time you graduate, your IELTS result would have been expired already. All right, and that's why it's because of this time concern that we set this course in either year 3 or year 4. Okay, it's one of the English proficiency courses. What else do we have? As I've just mentioned, linguistics, language studies, and literature courses. So here we are, all of them. So if you take a look at this one, Introduction to Social Linguistics, that's actually what I've just mentioned in terms of how you understand the ways in which the English language is used in Hong Kong, whether the ways are different or similar to the ways in which the same language, English, is actually used in the UK, in America, in the United States of America. So All these will be introduced to you in what we call Introduction to Sociolinguistics. Sociolinguistics, okay, the study of language in relation to society. All right, so language and society are the two inseparable concepts. They have to be together. And there are many interesting things that we can examine when the two things are hand in hand with each other. All right, Introduction to Sociolinguistics. And particularly, we will talk about how the English language is used in Hong Kong when it comes to discourse, sociolinguistic issues in Hong Kong. So we'll have a much better focus of how the English language is used in Hong Kong. All right. Then you actually asked, oh, Danny, I can see there are some courses which are highlighted on this page. First, if you take a look at these two are highlighted in blue, stylistics, all right, versus critical approaches to contemporary children's literature. What's meant by this? Why are these two courses highlighted? It's just because they're what we call the elective courses. When it comes to the term for you to take these two courses, you can choose to do either stylistics or these children's literature course. So that's why it's an elective course, all right? But more interestingly, if you move a little bit up, you can see the other two courses highlighted in purple, Pragmatics and Intercultural Pragmatics. I have to introduce to you a very, very attractive highlight of these two courses is that when it comes to these two courses, Pragmatics or Intercultural Pragmatics, the elective courses, you can choose to do Pragmatics with the Open University of Hong Kong, which has no difference, all right, in terms of how you complete other courses, because the program is offered by us, and you are one of us, okay, an OUHK student, and that's why you will do Pragmatics with us. But if you just want to stay away from the OUHK, from the university for a while, for you to be immersed in a totally English speaking environment in the United Kingdom. You are immersed there and you speak English 24 hours a day, not because of just staying there for no reasons, but for doing a credit-bearing course. Then this will be the course of your choosing. So apart from doing Pragmatics, you don't want to do Pragmatics with OUHK, you can actually choose to do these Intercultural Pragmatics course, not with us, but with one of the top 10 universities in the United Kingdom, which is the University of Warwick. All right, this is a wonderful thing. All right, because apart from doing a 5-credit course with us, you can choose to do these 5-credit courses credit bearing. So by completing this is actually part of the graduation requirement. You have to do either one of the two. But if you choose to do this Intercultural Pragmatics course, you will be doing this course. You will be taught by the teachers, by the lecturers, and by the professors at the University of Warwick in the UK. You will fly to the UK to do this Intercultural Pragmatics course with the University of Warwick. Okay, so let me just briefly introduce to you the University of Warwick. Definitely is in the UK and is one of the top 10 UK universities and is located here in the middle part of England. So if you can take a look at this map here, London is here. Maybe some of you have been to London before, and the University of Warwick is located in Coventry. It's actually not exactly in Warwick, and it's located in Coventry, but it's very close to Warwick, and it's just about 1 hour of train for you to travel from Warwick to London. So if you, after the credit-bearing course, if you want to travel to London to stay there for a few days for you to experience the UK culture, definitely it's possible because it's just 1 hour train for you to go to London. All right. So these Intercultural Pragmatics course will be conducted in summer term. All right. Why? Because if you go away from the OUHK from Hong Kong, how are you going to complete the rest of the courses? And that's why we're going to make use of your summer time in order for you to complete these overseas credit-bearing course, Intercultural Pragmatics course in summer 2022. As everybody knows, it really depends on the situation of the pandemic. As of today, UK border is open, but if you go to the UK at this moment, you can't come back to Hong Kong. All right, so fingers crossed, let's pray or whatever. Let's see if the situation really gets better in the second half of 2022. If the situation allows, definitely, if the Hong Kong government will actually allow people to come back, okay, from England to Hong Kong, then we again, and if the overall pandemic situation, not just in Hong Kong, especially in the UK, is good enough, is fair enough, then we will definitely organize this intercultural pragmatics course in the UK, and then you can fly to the UK to stay there for around about 4 weeks for you to complete this course, and then you will stay there, stay behind to enjoy your holiday, and then you can come back to Hong Kong, all right, during summer. But everything depends on the situation of the pandemic. Let's get our fingers crossed, okay? Right. So apart from the English language studies, English linguistics, and English literature courses, for the English double degree students, just remember what I just told you, you have to do an area of education courses, which will equip you to be a super teacher, a good teacher, a good English teacher, all right? Right. Apart from the major courses, definitely in this university, you will be able to have numerous chances in order for you to do something else. And we call them other learning opportunities, other learning chances, all right? As I've just mentioned, apart from the major courses, you will have to do outside discipline courses as well as some general education courses. And you can participate in different societies, all right? And definitely we do have, it's just because you are majoring in English, you will have these student English society, but we also have other sports societies or other disciplines, other societies in other disciplines or in other interest areas. Okay, so that is it really depends on your own interest, and you can participate in any of them. All right, and that's actually what we say 上莊 in Cantonese. Okay, we've got this zhong, that zhong, and you can 上莊. So 上莊, that's societies. All right, and for the English double degree students, they will be assigned to be teachers to be in 2 periods of 6 weeks each. In the first period, teaching as a teacher to be, as a student teacher in the primary school. And in the second period, teaching as a teacher to be, as a student teacher in a secondary school. So teaching practice is involved in the courses for the English double degree students. Last but not least, if you don't want to do the intercultural pragmatics course I've just mentioned to you, but if you still want to go to the UK to experience the culture there, to experience Shakespeare, okay, in the hometown of Shakespeare, if you really want to go to the UK during summer, we do offer this immersion program for you, which is immersion program in an English-speaking country. And of course, we are talking about the United Kingdom again. Here we are, the English language and culture immersion program, which takes place in summer every year. But again, it really depends on the pandemic. All right, fingers crossed. So again, if you join this English language and culture immersion program, you have a chance to be immersed in the English-speaking environment and to learn from the lecturers, professors, and to interact with the students at the University of Warwick. All right, so as I've just said, it's organized every summer, and this program includes workshops, seminars, classes on British culture, and in these British culture workshops and classes, you will know more about British music, okay, advertising, food, education, and family, all right? And you will know something about English literature, definitely, and something like ethnographic research. So it's not just about culture, it's also about literature, all right? So, but again, literature and culture are so much hand in hand with each other, and some research elements to teach you how to do some kind of research, okay, which is what we call ethnographic research. I'm not going to mention too much about this, but it's about doing something to analyze something using your first person perspective. All right. Right. And it's not just about classes, seminars, and workshops. You will also have different chances for you to go on these cultural tours to the Warwick Castle. It's one of the best preserved castles in the UK. It's wonderful. It's impressive. All right. And it's as good as the Windsor Castle. I'm sure that if you know something about the UK, Windsor, okay, WINDSOR, Windsor Castle is one of the best well-known castles in the UK and in the world. But I think Warwick Castle is definitely also worth going. And you also have a chance to go to Oxford. All right. So Oxford, the Oxford University is one of the most famous universities in Hong Kong, sorry, in the world. And you have a chance to go to Oxford. All right. It's not in Hong Kong, in the world. All right. And Stratford-upon-Avon, which is a place very near Warwick. That's actually the birthplace of Shakespeare. So apart from just reading Shakespeare, talking about Shakespeare all the time, you will have a chance to go to the hometown of Shakespeare to take a look at the birthplace, the house where Shakespeare spent most of his lifetime in. Okay, this is the birthplace of Shakespeare, Stratford-upon-Avon in the UK. And in order for us to make sure that you will speak English 24 hours a day, all right, 7 days a week, all the time during this immersion program, you will be arranged to stay in a host family. In other words, you will be staying, you will be living, all right, with the British people. And that's why these make sure you can actually have this kind of cultural exchange with the British people, and you will know more about the houses, the housing thing, family trends in the UK. And this also makes sure that you will speak English all the time to learn some colloquial and native English from the British people, the family that you will be staying with. All right. It's a wonderful chance for you to be immersed in the English speaking environment. So do go to these immersion programs if the pandemic situation allows. All right. Right. Last but not least, I think it's time for us to take a look at some factual items which can be seen on the university's webpage or on the JUPAS webpage. But let me just walk you through all these factual items, okay, to see whether you've got any questions later on. So again, if you want to be admitted, make sure that you will have level 3 or above in English and Chinese, level 2 or above in mathematics, liberal studies, and an elective subject. It's just because these English single degree program and English double degree program specify English. We focus on English, and that's why we will actually give extra points if you perform well in your HKDSE English subject. And that's why HKDSE result in English receives double weighting. If you've got, say, for example, a level 5 for your English Hong Kong DSE result, so you will have 10 points instead of just 5 points in terms of JUPAS admission. All right, so the exam is over, but fingers crossed, I hope you will actually have a very good result or a satisfactory result for your HKDSE English, so that your point, your grade, your level will be double up. All right, so double weighting. And if you intend to be an English teacher, we have to see whether you're really a suitable English teacher or not. And that's why if you apply for the English double degree, JS9530 English double degree, an admission interview will be arranged for you. All right. So some facts about the admission scores back in 2020, the 2020 admission year. So here we are, 2019, 22, 21. Then you must say, it's a little bit too high, Danny. If you still remember, the English result, English HKDSE result is doubled. And that's why the double weighting is actually factored in, all right, in these calculations. So 20, which means, okay, if you've got 4, all right, for your level 4 for your English language result, it means 8, all right, is actually factored in this 20 here. So because of double weighting, all right. So the JUPAS intake figure, all right, the quota for the English single degree, we plan to have 25 students this year for our year 1 intake, and for the English double degree program, we plan to have 35, all right. So career prospects, definitely both degrees equip you as a professionally qualified English teacher, having met the language major and language proficiency requirements for English teachers. So just like what I mentioned at the outset of this presentation, when I was talking about the recognitions, okay, that you will gain from these 2 programs. So you have the English language major degree recognized by the Education Bureau. But if you do the English double degree, in addition to the English language major degree, you will also have the English teacher training qualification. In other words, when you complete the English double degree, you will be a fully qualified English teacher in either secondary schools or primary schools in Hong Kong. So both degrees equip you well for career in any field in which the English language proficiency is crucial. Now, I would have to say, if you're not working in a Chinese speaking, or where the field is related to Chinese, basically in almost all sorts of workplace in Hong Kong, English is required. If your English is better, the better your English is, the more chances you will have in terms of your career. That's true, right? That's something that I think nobody would actually doubt. And that's why these include administrative and executive work in the civil service, non-government organizations, commercial and business sectors, or any other career paths. Translation, all right, definitely you have to be very good in English in order for you to be able to translate something from Chinese into English or the other way around. All right, and that's why translation is one of the possible ways out if you really want to do something about language, or ESL or EFL publishing, English as a second language or English as a foreign language. You know, we've got many publishing companies in Hong Kong which actually target at publishing English teaching and learning materials catered for secondary schools and primary schools in Hong Kong. Definitely, if your English proficiency is good enough, or if you've got the English language major degree, you will have a better chance to be working in these ESL or EFL publishing companies, all right, because all of which require very good English language skills. Last but not least, the double degree equips you as a fully qualified English teacher, and you will be fully exempted from the LPAT, Hong Kong language proficiency requirement for teachers, okay, as I've just mentioned, because by completing the English double degree, you will be a fully qualified English teacher in Hong Kong. All right. So if you do have any further inquiries, definitely you can actually call our OUHK Information Center or our full-time programs office. So these are the 2 telephone numbers and the corresponding email addresses. So just very important as the previous slides. So remember the following very important JUPAS days, okay? And this is past, okay? But if you take a look at this one, July the 21st, all right, at OYO, all right? So that's actually the day for you to know your HKDSE examination results. And after that, you will be given 2 to 3 days in order for you to modify your program choices, modify your JUPAS program choices between the 22nd and the 24th in July. If you do want to be admitted to our English single degree or English double degree, make sure that you will put either 9530 or 9540 in one of the Band A choices. Now, there are 3 Band A choices. If you want to be admitted, please make sure that you will put us 9530 or 9540 in Band A or Band B. Band C, I really doubt. Okay, so it's better to be band A. It's the best to be in band A. Band B, all right. Okay, so make sure that you make the right choice. Okay, you put your right choice in the right place. If you really want to be admitted to us, if you really want to be one of us, seeing me or other teachers at the OUHK in September. All right. And August the 12th is the day for us to release the results to you, okay, to see whether you are admitted to us or not. That's the announcement of the main round of the results, right? Great. So I think it's almost the end of this seminar, of these information sections. That's my name, Dr. Daniela. And if you really want to have any questions, you can email me. That's my email, chlearn@ouhk.edu.hk, or you can actually call me during office hours. Okay, that's my telephone. So I think it's almost the answer. If it's time for you to leave, yeah, all right. But if you do have any questions, just let me know here. Okay, let me just see. Okay. Okay, I've got one question here. Okay. Okay, this show. We do have program. Okay, if you have been interviewed, definitely you do, okay, if you put us in, okay, it's just because you put us in either band A, band B, or band C back in the JUPAS form in January 2021, and that's why you were interviewed. That's right. And we won't actually give you bonus point, but we will definitely consider you if you keep putting 9530 in band A in your final JUPAS form to be submitted. Okay, so make sure that you will put us in band A. Yes. Yeah, if you've got school principal nomination, yeah, definitely the chance will be higher because we will take a look at the school principal nomination, okay, when we admit students. But I can't actually exactly tell you the percentage, okay, or in terms of the admission rate percentage when we compare those having got the SPN and those not having SPN. I'm sorry for that, okay, but definitely that would be a bonus if you've got the school principal nomination. Oh, we've got the second question here. Oh, it's from you, Season. I think you are the Season I know. Okay. I won't say IELTS 7.0. Okay, the overall band score is the graduation requirement. But if you know, we do have an IELTS course, which is preparing for IELTS. If you still remember, that's actually one of the courses that I showed you just now. And if you have to pass that course, you have to pass two things: the assignments of that course, and last but not least, the IELTS test. And we do set a score for you to pass the IELTS test. If you pass the IELTS test, it means you pass the examination of that course, because the final examination of that course is equivalent to the IELTS test. All right. And I would have to say it's not as high as 7.0 in order for you to pass the IELTS exam. All right. The exam of the course is lower than that. Yeah. So I would have to say it's not the graduation requirement for you to pass the for you to obtain a certain score for your IELTS. It's definitely important for you to pass the IELTS course in order for you to graduate from the program. All right. Does it make any sense to you? Yes. Thank you, Season. So if, okay, do I have any more questions? Okay, is this the Q&A? Oh, I do have some. Okay. I'm just running out. Okay. Okay. So I think this is almost the end of this session. If you do have any more questions, do let me know. Do let me know through email, or you can actually call me during the office hour. All right. So time for me to say bye-bye to you, and hope to see all of you very soon, maybe in September, in one of the 2 English language study programs. All right. So see you all. Bye-bye.